Don't sleep on my mouse pad, little one. Okay then. When we last left off, you guys had made it onto the island. Uh, Discovered evidence that there had been a major attack that some people attempted unsuccessfully to repel. Uh, you found only one body, and that was from one of four people that had managed to hide uh, in an underground chamber that had been there for days at this point. Uh, you heard reference to something called the Drowned. And later got attacked by giant snakes as you tried to make your way across an open part of a roof. And now you're in a turret with a set of stairs going up towards a trap door. So, what would you like to do, guys?
Was this the junk room?
There was a moldy junk room down below this, and then this is another junk room with various articles. Plus, there's stairs leading up to a trapdoor.
Logan's gonna just start rifling through all this stuff, looking for anything interesting.
Of course he is. Why am I surprised? Alright, so as the rest of you guys stand around or look in the things, or at least, attempt to recover yourselves from the fight with the snakes, Lubu dives into several interesting patches of seemingly junk, finds bits of rope, some a burlap sack, a harp that's missing most of its strings, but eventually, before any of you can think to possibly go up the stairs or leave this room, he comes up with a case of 12 plus 2 bolts. His junk rummaging has paid off.
Hey,
What'd you got there?
bolts. Does anyone use crossbows?
I do, but I should go to someone else.
Fresh out of crossbows.
How big are the bolts? Normal crossbow bolts? They aren't ship-sized?
Yeah, there are more or less normal sized bolts.
I know. I was just
crossbow.
trying to be funny.
In fact, probably the
Enola uses a short bow.
Yeah. The reason person who would have found these bolts very useful would have been the other junk rummager who isn't currently with your party. Noxie.
Unfortunately. I was just thinking the same thing.
It's fine. She's coming back.
She's coming back. I'm gonna hold on to these for Noxie. She's gonna love these.
Do you want me to add them to the party loot and throw them in the bag?
Yes, please.
Alright, I will add them to the party loot when I get back.
Alright.
Oh, by the way, until I get back, Enola will be kind of autopilot, assisting anybody if they're nearby and looking for shinies. Because she seems to express an interest in shiny things.
Yeah. Mostly the stuff in this particular room happens to be like casks of nails. You should put yourself back on mute, Caladriel.
Yep. Sorry, I thought I did. My hands were a little wet. Did you say cask of ale like the beverage,
No,
or
no,
nails
nails.
like the hardware?
Nails.
Ooh.
I was gonna finish with that.
Might need those since we're on a ship.
You find things like nails, a few bent crowbars that could be used as, like, a crossbar and something, but probably aren't very useful for their original function. Some clay planters, similar to the ones that you found underneath those vines that you destroyed. Hammer, a rusty handsaw, a hooded lantern, and a few more, but fully 10-foot lengths of hempen rope, along with firewood. In fact, some of the stuff, pretty sure you've seen similar items to this in the various barricades around the place.
Logu, you made a point earlier. Maybe we should be focusing up on remaking the barricades we broke down just as a precaution.
This looks like the spot to find stuff for it. Could probably barricade every door in this place and double.
We're gonna stay in here if we end up barricading the place.
Janora
Right,
kind of
but
looks at them and goes, "If the drowned come back at night, and night is soon."
We going up or down?
The trap door and the stairs lead up.
Let's go up.
Axel Don, what you doing? Oh man, you guys moved when I tried to copy you to the next screen, and it
Oh, sorry.
No. It's just one of those things of apparently attempting to copy you as somebody's moving breaks the copy attempt. I think it was low moved. So it took me a second to actually paste you to the right spot. Okay. Alrighty then. A cast iron pot-belly stove squats to the north of the upper level of the fortress's main tower, its stovepipe extending out the arrow slit to the north. The wooden frame and slats of an old bed are pushed up against a spiral staircase that rises to a trap door in the ceiling, leading to an open belfry above. Under an arrow slit, looking towards the island's western peak, a dusty desk is covered in debris and fresh bird droppings. Hinges hang on either side of the arrow slit, indicating that at one time they had shutters to keep out the elements. A section of the wall to the southwest has collapsed inward, opening up to the rocky slope of the island's smaller hill 10 feet above. The pile of rubble covers the smashed remains of a chair. And as you guys glance towards the bed frame that's just below the trapdoor, you notice that there are small drips of red on top of that look fairly fresh, and that seem to be dripping down from that trapdoor above your heads. The new trapdoor above your heads.
I'm gonna just do a general look around for any possible dangers in this room.
Alright, give me an investigation check. Ooh. Alright. Whispers time. Alright, so you get to decide what you're going to do with this. As you get over to one of the corners, you discover a small, a not so small compartment. And while everyone else is looking around, you get a chance to decide if you wish to keep all the stuff that's in here, or some of the stuff in here, for yourself, or share it around. You find the following items. Are you ready?
Yep.
A ring of free action, 3 ounces of oil of slipperiness, 3 potions of water breathing, an immovable rod, a folding boat, a bag of holding, a small metal baton the size of a torch with a continual flame seemingly cast on it, and a small metal container holding 6 capsules. You also find a leather backpack which contains a journal. Now do with all of that what you may.
I'm sure they wouldn't exactly be susceptible to flame. And
Hey,
Lord
guys.
knows, go ahead.
And I will just kind of show you guys all the loot that I just found. I didn't get it all because it was quite fast, but
Oh,
what I
that
got.
was fast. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I was
That was
writing
like,
it all down.
that was as slow as I usually can talk.
Yeah, sorry. Um, Ring of Free Action. 3 ounces of oil of slipperiness.
If you're gonna share everything with them, I can't. I can just repeat it. I was
Oh,
giving that to
okay.
you in case you wanted to pocket something. So
Yeah, no.
the items are Ring of Free Action, 3 ounces of oil of slipperiness, 3 potions of water breathing, which is useless to some of you, an immovable rod, a folding boat, a bag of holding, a small metal baton the size of a torch with a continual flame cast on it, a small metal container containing 6 unusual capsules, and a leather backpack containing what seems to be a journal.
If I may ask, out of character, what is a ring of free action?
Let me pull out the description.
It,
Sorry, like I said, all the DMs before you, they handed out magic items about as often as.
Oh,
I was trying to come up with something smart, but for once, I'm drawing short.
Can't
Not
be
my day.
grappled, can't be held.
Very useful.
can't be paralyzed. Nothing can reduce your speed, basically. Difficult current terrain doesn't cost you extra movement and stuff like that.
So you're telling me that it should either go to Topaz or Volan.
Does one
Yeah.
already have that ring?
It also requires attunement, so that should be kept in note.
I can already tell you that Cogsworth would not accept it unless it was outright handed to him saying, "Take this or I hit you." If no one wants it, someone might message Anola and see if she wants it. She might have use for it.
Oh, considering all the times I've been held, I would definitely want it.
Mm-hmm.
Give a look over at Dread.
Does it make you immune to being held for the spell?
Believe so, because hold person makes you
Yeah,
paralyzed.
it basically but it's only for magical holds. For example, because it specifies magic, this means that a monk's paralyzation would still work on you. For example,
What about a white? Is it a ghast or ghoul with the paralyzing
that
strike?
would be considered magic, therefore not.
Okay. Are there any, like, I think there's some monsters that have stenches that paralyze you? Would that be considered magic?
Again, if it's a magical, if it's considered a magical effect, it does not affect you. But if it's something physical, like a monk's ability, it would.
Yeah, most effects that monsters use are considered magical because they are magical beasts, mostly.
Okay. I was wondering, because I would think, like, a really bad stench could be considered physical,
Yeah.
but it could also be considered magical.
As I said, I'm gonna have to look by case on the actual character sheet of the monster, because there are certain monsters where that stench is not magical at all, and if that's the case, then yeah, it would not be counted under magical paralyzation. Whereas others, especially if they're magical beings, that would be considered magical restraint.
I was asking because I think, like, the owlbear stench, I don't know if that's magical or not, but that's not a paralysis, that's just
Owlbears have stench?
Yeah, within like 10 or 20 feet, I think you have to roll a con. Otherwise, you drop to 0. Unconscious. Think Bodak.
Let me check this on Owlbear, because that doesn't...
I'll
least
happily
that's
turn into
what
my
I've heard.
periapt. I've got a periapt I don't really need. I've just been wearing it because.
No, that's not the Owlbear you're thinking of.
Something has it. I'll remember it at some point.
Because
But
I
I'm
was thinking
switching
that
on my
doesn't
computer
sound
now.
right, considering the way that what owlbears usually do. It's like the stench is not something that's a part of them.
It's some kind of monstrous creature.
Yeah, I know that. There are several, like, for example, the troglodytes, which is what you were thinking of for some reason.
Either
I
way,
do
like
wanna
said,
look at the
I'm switching
journal.
over.
Alright. I think there's even a handout for that. Let me check. pages opened up. That's that. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to see if they actually have a thing, or if I'm just gonna have to read this out to you. Because it's it's one of those things where sometimes it remembers to actually put in a handout on these things. That's one of the reasons I like investing in Roll20. And other times, for some reason or another, in things that you would normally see as a handout don't show up as a handout. It's like, why? But okay, you ready? Or do you ready for me to read this out loud, or are you going to keep this to yourself? Is your character going to keep this to yourself?
I'll read this out loud.
Okay. So you clear your throat and you start reading. Our worst fears are confirmed. Virgil has brought word of disaster. A war galley fully loaded with pirates approaches from the southwest. It flies the flag of the raiders and bears the name of the cursed ship, Tamarat. We must prepare what feeble defense we can muster. Woe the folk of the coast at the approach of this bloody tide. And then there's a little bit of illegible script, and it goes into another day, it looks like. Miracle of miracles! The storm lord has answered the prayers of our illustrious chaplain. A furious storm blew in from the open sea and swept the war galley to its doom. But I believe that the vessel went down near the pit of hatred, an ill-starred undersea chasm 2 miles south of Firewatch Island. This does not bode well, for the rift is said to be a passage to a source of pronunciation issues. Interminable evil that was long ago sealed away. If the wreckage should rupture the wards, terrible darkness might be unleashed. I must mount an expedition to the sunken hulk and make sure all is well. And some more scratching, more unintelligible words, because this looks like it's fairly old and, has gotten worn by the elements. A fell wind blows this evening. I fear the wards to the rift have been broken. I must set out first thing in the morning to inspect the wreckage. And that appears to be the final entry in the journal.
Zephyrus was reading all that out while posing as like he is reading out a script in a play. Like he's being all dramatic about it.
Yo, take this more seriously. That sounds like a fucking nightmare. What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
And go down the rift and look for it, of course.
Ugh.
Risk certain world-ending doom. I mean, what else?
Gotta say though,
Go ahead.
this is good stuff. I'm definitely gonna put this entry into my novel.
Your new friend Janora looks at you all with open mouths. Go into the rift? Are you crazy? Especially after all this?
Yes.
I mean,
I had no idea this stuff was up here. This section has been abandoned for years and years. Probably since long before we took over this island.
Go big or go home.
And then she kind of looks over towards the blood that's still kind of dripping through the slats.
Oh wait, you're already home. Sorry.
And
Yeah.
looks slowly up.
Yeah, we should probably address this blood.
She nods.
Coming from the trapdoor.
From the second trapdoor,
Yeah.
the one that's above you. That's
Trapdoor up here.
above
Top of the
the-
stairs.
You came up the stairs and up through another trapdoor, and then you found a bed frame that's pushed underneath a new trapdoor, and that trapdoor seems to have blood dripping down from the.
Is that at the top of the stairs?
Let's see. I'm actually not sure where it is physically on this map. Hold on, let me check.
And I also have a quick question
It
about
might
the
be over
bed
here.
once you're done.
It's metal, and It looks pretty old. Looks like somebody may have stood on it to get through that trapdoor above you.
Trapdoor goes to the next floor up, which the stairs do also. One
No,
presumed.
the stairs go back down.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah,
And just to make sure, you said that the bed frame looked like it was used almost like a stool to get up to
Yep.
the trapdoor.
Jumping up, see if I can get it open.
all right. It pushes a little bit, and a human arm just kind of flops down over the edge, presumably connected to a body that's beyond the trapdoor.
Janora, you mentioned you had a friend, yeah, named Aaron? Which way did he run?
Janora just kind of stares at the hand.
We might have just found him. I'll see if I can pull
She
him
nods
down.
a bit towards Topaz.
See if I can pull the body down.
All right, make a strength check. Should be pretty easy for you.
Is this another one that we should lay to rest?
All right, as you do, you pull the body. Only about half the body comes with you. You hear a sound above, and you get pretty much the arm, part of the torso, and a trail of intestines, as it seems that whatever this was connected to originally had been torn open above there. Genora just covers her mouth with her hands as she sees the resulting arm.
Oh, sorry. I got
chunk
half of
the,
him.
Chunk of the what looks like pulverized rib cage that's been kind of like pulled apart.
Well, that is quite grisly.
Fuck.
I don't mean to be rude. Is this something that the drowned would do? The drowned you mentioned? Because that kind of looks
Her eyes are
fucked
wide,
up.
and she just kind of shakes her head.
I'm trying to go all the way up past what's left and see what's up there.
Zephyrus is getting really close to the body and sketching.
All right.
I just love how Janora's sitting there trying to grieve the loss of a potential friend, and Topaz is just like, loot.
The open belfry offers a breathtaking view of the open sea and the distant coast. 4 stone corner posts support the belfry's conical slate roof, where it peaks 20 feet above, with a crenellated battlement running between them. A human body is sprawled on is sprawled half in, half out of the trapdoor. Well, it's now no longer in the trapdoor since you pulled part of it down. The torso has been completely ripped open, with the organs now spread across the floor. Noticeably absent is the heart. The base of what was once a metal framework surrounded by above the body, a large bronze bell engraved with the symbols of peace and serenity hanging down from the crossbeams, with a pull rope dangling from the rigging above. Across the floor next to the body, a message is scrawled in chalk: "Beware the sea killers."
Have a message up here. It says, beware the sea killers.
That is a terrible name for a game. But they do impressive work, I guess.
Did any of us figure out, with rolls we made previously, that Perrytons eat hearts? Out of character, I just wondered if that's a thing.
I'm trying to remember. I think one of you, since you knew what the name of the creature was,
Someone
probably
did,
knows. Yeah, that
You have to
Perrytons
eat the heart
hearts.
to breed.
Yeah.
I think one of us made a check to figure out, like, because it was a specifically legendary Perryton. Like, it wasn't just the regular one.
I think it was Topaz specifically that did it. Actually,
I don't know. Well, I think it was that thing we killed that got this one. It ate his heart.
I mean, I'll do a look over the body just in case. Like, figure out what exactly killed him.
Well, do a medicine check, though. Of course, part of the body is now down below, so.
I mean, unless the drowned climb up onto spires.
I'm gonna be going up there to look at and up and down, like look at both parts of the body, and I did sketch the first half.
Okay. Roll a medicine check.
Yeah, well, I'm shit at medicine, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you
The
have
bell's
no
still
idea.
functional?
No, the body is.
No, the bell. Was
Oh,
the
the
bell.
bell-
Would the
the
bell
bell's
look like it
definitely-
would work?
The bell is definitely still functional. There is a pull chain with some kind of looked like there was some kind of weight on it at some point. Because something caused it to ring, and this guy was already dead, considering
Alright.
it rang after you killed the rasp, and the
Since
rasp
I'm
clearly
standing
killed
up
this
here
guy.
with this amazing
Unless
view,
there's a second one. Oh, sorry.
I'll
the
look
Peryton
around.
and rasp.
I'm looking around from this view up here and see if there's anything unusual going on out there on the beach or whatever.
Alright. It's getting dark. Roll a perception check. Alright. You look out towards the beach. Most of the beach, at least the way you came in, looks fine. And you finally turn around and look towards the cove that you've been told about. And you read off the description of that. Because you finally happen to spy that you can't stand on those, little guy. Spy down at the cove below. Where is the description for that? I saw that a minute ago. Where'd it go? Sorry. This is one of those problems of there are several. They're basically scattered across several pages. Is where the descriptions are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because I saw it and I read it to myself earlier, and then I'm trying to remember where it is exactly so I can actually reverse it. But here it is. It's labeled as grotto. So you see the stone peaks of the island that rise along the walls of the hermitage to create a sheltered grotto. You can see that grotto from where you're at. You can see a steep path ascending to it 10 feet from a short strand of the beach up to an exterior door, which you guys looked through before. And you see what looks to be a boat that's pulled halfway up the beach, its stern riding low in the water, which I believe backs. No, you don't go back. My cat is going back behind my computer again. But as you happen
What kind of a boat?
It looks like kind of similar to the boat that you brought in, maybe slightly smaller. But
Okay.
as you continue to look around, you notice that in the water of the grotto are bodies. Lots and lots of humanoid bodies, all pulled together with fishing net. Just floating there in the water.
Volin,
Ah,
come up here.
yeah. Huh. They're not moving, right?
Not yet.
We should get out of here. Now? How late is it looking?
It's starting to. The sky is starting to look a bit red as the sun is going down.
So we need to go sooner than later.
Right.
I think maybe we're fucked. I think maybe we have to stay here.
Well, I mean, they were in a net. For what that's worth.
But if that many bodies were to start moving, how quickly would the net hold up?
It's why she was staying here, as the crew on her ship might be in trouble.
Yeah, we can probably if we don't have enough time to leave on the ship, we should have enough time to just get the crew and get them inside.
Maybe.
Let's do something right now.
If you guys care about the crew, because I do.
I didn't see any other movement. If anybody else is still alive on this island. Not seeing them from up here.
Lobu just starts going down.
Maybe we should probably go.
Yeah.
Zephyrus is gonna head down too.
Should we grab those two that are in the hidden potato area?
I would think so.
Yeah, let's go.
Considering they were near death before we cured them, I doubt they'll survive long without us.
Right.
I say leave them to it. We don't know those guys.
Well, considering you have some wonderful
what you
equipment thanks to them, we should at least try to
Do
help.
what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do. Just let's do it.
And we'll start heading down, I guess.
All right. Sorry about that. I said my cat just got behind the computer screen again. All right. So let's see. You guys are no longer in there. Everybody's going back down to the second floor, so I can delete you off here. Find yourselves back in this area.
I don't want to speak for everyone, but I think we're just like hightailing it to at least the first floor.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright.
As quickly as is reasonable.
You guys already took care of the snakes in there, so you got nothing obstructing you just to get from there to there. Which means I will take you directly to the first floor. Just going to delete your tokens from this area and head you down. Oh,
Is
sorry, I didn't
anyone
mean to
else
trap you in
mildly
here.
concerned that she specified that there was nothing to stop us to get to the first floor?
Mildly.
Sorry.
Please no.
Alright, so we're gonna...
What?
No, nothing. My token just moved.
No, as I realized that your token got left there when we last copied it, so I was just moving it back to the rest of the party.
Also, I'm dumb. I'm too used to playing the Sunday game. I didn't even open Roll20.
Yeah, on our Sunday game, we
All theater of the mind.
yeah, it's all complete theater of the mind, and we use Dice Roller on Discord.
It works.
Well, I did finally
Jeez.
get our GM into playing a game on Friday nights. So on Roll20, so he's actually starting to use Roll20, but he's using Discord
Jeez.
for his new campaign still. Go ahead.
We came
These
in down
are,
here though, didn't we? That door's not even open. Is it still barricaded?
I think you guys closed it again, and this one over here is barricaded.
Yes, we don't want to spend time doing that. We want to
No.
get out of
We
here.
go out the way we came. We got the south door.
Cogsworth, Dread, would you
We
be
have
able
to-
to help me get the other two?
Have to go get
Yes.
the other two.
You went to the other two?
The
We're
ones that
getting
are
them up.
hiding. We should grab them.
Yeah.
Wait.
Okay.
Who has the other
has
bag of holding?
Nobody yet.
Oh, nobody yet. We haven't decided.
It might have been a really good idea to have them step into the bag.
I think they're reluctant to do
As
that.
long as it doesn't take us more than 10 minutes to get back to the
Janora,
ship, sure.
Janora helps get them out from under there,
Thank
and
goodness.
she basically hands the one who's
Oh, this
still
is
having
wrong.
trouble walking to Cogsworth to carry, and I think the other one's probably Topaz to carry,
Me?
Here, I'll just do that so you
or
can.
someone who's
Stop.
strong. Volan?
I'm not that
Lord,
strong.
I'll carry it.
I think of you as strong because you do massive damage when you hit things. Sorry.
It's more the dexterity to aim for the kill shot.
You're-
Strength is
you're-
14. I'm
You
not...
are an awesome monk, so I end up thinking that you're very strong when it's you can just do massive damage. Strength and damage are not always the same thing.
Case in point, warlocks.
Everybody. Where the hell did they go? Where'd you go?
North. All right.
Oh. Oh.
You
How
guys
did we make it back?
take your little
I'm amazed.
boat, oops, and get yourselves back to the Stormy Jack. The sun continues to go down, and as you look out, as your ship sails, away with your new passengers, away from the island, those of you who care to look out back towards the island and start seeing shapes as the sun sets, rising up onto the beach. They don't appear to notice your ship at all.
That place is cursed as fuck.
Jenner kind of looks at
Yeah.
you and nods. We
That would
Well,
not have gone
were
well.
so lucky to get out of there when we did.
We're gonna go back there for the rift.
That's just in the water.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then we don't need to go back there. We don't need to
Ah.
go on the island. We can anchor some little distance away, and I'm sure we'll find a way down.
Oh, okay.
Do you think that's what the potions were for?
What potions?
The ones of water breathing?
Of water breathing.
Probably.
What's the deal with this case full of weird capsules? I hear about that? Weird case full of
Yeah.
weird capsules.
And I mean, we know what the deal is with that island now. We know how to just avoid it. Come during the day. I see no reason for us to go that far while we're here if that rift is not that far from. Maybe in the morning.
So,
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
We
maybe-
should.
Could make some buoys and tell people to stay away from this horrible place, but
We should find a way to get the pirates to come out here unknowingly.
that's good. I like that. I've been running a long con where I'm pretending to be that guy we killed. So I could tell them that there's like some really good treasure out here or something. I don't know.
What guy you killed?
Yeah, just make sure that they think the treasure can only be reached when the sun is at a certain point, low in the sky, so that its beams point toward the spot on the beach that needs to be dug up, or some such foolishness. They love that
That's
sort of
right.
thing.
Pirates. Zephyrus, we killed this guy who spoke in. Well, we didn't kill him. He went to trial, was judged an asshole, and got hung from the neck until dead. But he spoke in the third person. He was bad news. He was like a wizard for the sea princes.
Okay.
It was very interesting, that whole hanging thing. That device they built, very ingenious. Really wouldn't work for us, though. I mean, below the sea. You'd hang them, they just sort of float and flop around. It really wouldn't.
It'd be a weird punishment, but yeah, not a great way of executing anyone.
Janora kind of looks at the two seals and ventures a question. How do your kind execute people?
Well, typically, spear through the heart or something equally quick. I mean, if you're talking about those people that are, really bad, or if it's a sentence or a villainous trap, then occasionally one might get trapped in a cage with piranha or some such thing. That tends to be a bit more of a gruesome death.
It looks like he's lost in thought.
Who's lost in that?
Zephyrus.
Creepy inside.
The dwarf, meanwhile, is kind of like breathing heavy and kind of looking around. I hate to ask, but where are you folks headed next?
Say again. What was that?
Where are you all heading next?
The Rift, probably.
Yeah, I don't want to go there.
So, GM, Zephyrus isn't truly hiding his intentions, so does just Lobu make the DC for figuring out what Zephyrus is just thinking about, I guess?
Sure, you can
Or-
let him know whatever you think is appropriate given his roll of 12.
Okay. He's thinking about someone.
You know somebody who got executed, bud?
Huh? Oh, no. I was just thinking about the execution method. Anyway, alright, well, I mean, it's up to you guys where we go. It's as long as it's adventure, I'm down, so
Let's get away from shore, so in case those things start wandering around underneath the waves, they don't crawl up on us at night. Decide what we're going to do. I believe we have some things to look over that were found.
yes.
Absolutely.
The capsules are interesting, yeah.
Did anyone write down like a text list of all that stuff?
Yeah, I did. I'll post it in chat real quick.
I was not fast enough in typing what you listed it off to me.
That should be a baton length torch, or I don't fucking know. With the continual flame on.
Yeah, there's basically a ever burning torch is another way of putting it.
Yeah, the only thing I don't know what it is the container with the capsules.
You and me team up, try and figure this thing out.
Sure. I don't know what check this would be.
Foldable boat. I've seen those. Those are awesome. I saw one used as a weapon once. Or I should say I heard the tale. One of my sisters had one, and it was a dire fight on land. But if I recall, I think she told me those have two different sizes. One's slightly smaller, the other is a full ship size. The command word is what makes them work. At least the one that she had. And in the middle of the fight, she flung it over top an opponent and spoke the word. Sudden boat on their head and crushed them rather thoroughly.
That's very good.
The dwarf is looking at you in amazement. That's incredible.
It does not surprise me that one of your family would do that.
What
And I
does
have
that
no
mean?
complaints.
What's that supposed to mean? Kind of rude.
Well, her family does seem to have a knack for killing efficiently. Seems to be necessary with what's in
Oh,
these waters.
nice save. Good.
There's the folding boat.
You meet one or two sea elves and you think you know all of them?
Oh no.
I didn't say anything about you killing efficiently.
Oh,
Fair.
Oh, I felt that burn over here. Ow.
Maybe Fumble had more of an effect on me than I thought.
Can
okay,
I
so
have
what?
that crystal back now that she's not in your head anymore? Or whatever.
What crystal?
The Eon Stone. The Ion Stone. That floaty thing
the
that's like
Ion
around
Stone.
your head.
I don't think she ever actually threw it out. But yes, Cogsworth will dig out the Ion Stone and hand it to him.
Pretty.
Just be careful no one takes it.
Absolutely.
So, who's looking over these capsules?
I was just wondering what kind of check it was, because if it was Arcana, then I'd have Lobu do it and I'd help him with it.
You can choose between Arcana and Nature.
Yeah, so I'll help Lobu out with this.
I was about to say I might actually be able to help, considering.
Whoever's doing this, you can make me a roll.
Could I possibly do
Give me some of
medicine?
that guidance.
Well, if I recall right, it's at the moment it's Zephyrus and Libu who are doing this.
Okay.
And you were in the middle of having a conversation with somebody else about that Ion Stone.
You're good.
Yeah, but Lobu asked
Give me
for
that
guidance.
Okay.
And sure, I will make a brief prayer and give him guidance.
You check these over, and you kind of shift the capsules a bit and peer into them, and you start noticing a few things, because, you know, you're from underwater, so you instantly recognize the telltone sheen of a particular enchanted water plant. And you realize that a taking of this capsule will cause the consumer to ignore the effects of depth, which you get at lower and lower sea elevations. So it negates depth. It negates depth effect greater than 100 feet. Called a
So
pressure
it's
capsule.
basically so it stops you from taking damage from like pressure and stuff.
Exactly.
Okay, that's really cool.
Mm-hmm. That it is.
These things are great. I think we're ready to jump down in there and really get deep on this. Cogsworth, you ready to be an anchor?
I already thought I was an anchor. Apparently, I make a mean doorstop.
And you did find the anchor token, by the way. The Qual's feather token of the anchor.
Oh yeah. Who's got that thing?
I believe it's in the bag of holding.
Like
We-
the religious symbol.
The other token.
Zephyrus, roll an intelligence check.
Sure. Oh,
Alright. Nothing more.
okay. All right, guys. Well, if we're gonna head to this rift at some point, just get me in my quarters.
Sure. Topaz, you did want to trade that out for the ring, yeah? The periop?
Oh
if
yes,
that's okay with
I
you?
would gladly make that trade. But periap's not a bad thing. Works great. Just that ring is
Although we
better.
might need it, all things considered.
On the note of magic items, is there anything interesting about this chest plate I put on yesterday?
And I
Today, I
believe
guess?
it's still today. Let me find the correct information for you.
Somebody should carry that that boat though. Telling you. Don't keep that in the bag of holding. That's worth someone having on their person.
You know it is a +1 breastplate.
Oh yeah.
Does anybody want to carry the foldable book?
I'll carry it, but I'm already carrying quite a few things. But considering I'm one of the least aquatic of everybody.
Yeah, I think either you or maybe Dread should have it. You're in quite heavy plate.
Okay. Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Well,
Ah,
Yep.
phew, took it that sound was gone.
Well, if we're gonna go dive into unimaginable evil at the bottom of the sea, I'd like to take a little rest if it makes sense. Start up daybreak.
That makes a lot of sense to me as well.
So, how many potions of water breathing do you guys now have?
Quite a few. We have the Helm of Underwater Action that I don't think anyone ever put on yet. How many were in the tower? Was it 6?
3.
3.
3? I think we have 5 because I examined one of our potions and found it was another potion of water breathing.
Okay.
So we have 5 in total.
And that case contains 6 pressure capsules. Alright, considering you have 2 sea elves and a warforged in your party, you should be okay for that then.
Yeah, Zephyrus doesn't need them.
Interesting.
He doesn't need.
Maybe
Doesn't need
he's
the potion.
maybe he's secretly a sea elf. You don't know. Or he could be a
maybe
Sahagin
he
spy.
He could also just perform well under pressure.
Under pressure.
David Bowie and Queen. That's one song I have 2 copies of because I had the best of for both.
I will say though, that those two, Under Pressure and Ice Ice Baby, are 2 of the most frustrating songs to me. Because I'll find that I'm listening to a station that has the right genre mix to play both of them. It'll start the beginning. I'll think it'll be one, and it'll be the other.
Oh yeah,
And I'm
that's
never
why.
right.
It's like
I
going, why
never
are
get-
those things frustrating? Oh, it's because the opening bar is the same.
Like,
And I've
sometimes
noticed
I'll
that
like
before,
listening
too.
to one over the other.
But since
But
I
I
know I
can
don't
never-
have a copy of Ice Ice Baby in my randomizer playlists on my iPhone or anything like that, I know that has to be one of those. I just don't know if it's my Queen, if it's the one that was on my best of Queen or my best of David Bowie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've never been able to guess the right one. I have no problem with either, but I can never guess it right.
So let's see. You guys are going to bed. The dwarf and the 2 humans head below deck, and you hear. Let's see. Cogsworth. You'd probably overhear the dwarf. The male human, saying something to the effect of, at least all those undead are currently on our island and nowhere out in the water. They probably return back to their den in the morning. Maybe we can go back to the island when it gets dawn. And then they're down below deck and hanging out in the crew quarters down there.
I don't know if that would be a good idea. Can you hear me okay?
I heard you. The character didn't hear you. They'd already vanished below deck.
Oh, okay.
You're just there, and the only people that can hear you are Topaz and Enola.
So sounds like long rest.
Yeah.
I don't know, is it a long rest?
That's the only thing that'll help Dread. So
Mm-hmm.
Attuning.
Also attuning.
I think I restored those back yet.
Yay, now I really have a chance to get myself in trouble before anyone else can catch up and help me.
But don't you have more capability to get yourself out of said trouble?
No. What makes you think I do?
Free action?
Oh, I mean, yeah, if they're trying to paralyze me. I mean, just covering ground and getting in the mix. I've done that to myself several times.
Yep, and unfortunately, you no longer have a hypnotic pattern on call to try and save you.
Yeah. Who's carrying the boat?
I believe Dread.
Okay.
Yeah, sure, I'll carry it.
Whatever floats your boat.
So ignoring that and moving right along.
Let me get
Okay.
enjoyment out of life, okay?
Yeah, I think we did, because I spent mine already.
All right. If you haven't, between the 9 people it was split between, it was 1678.4. I'm going to go back and do the math for the ship loot later, but this is what you have. Just so we can get it out the way so some people don't have it and others don't.
Are we including Zephyrus in this calculation?
It
No.
went to Noxie.
Yeah. Zephyrus was not there.
Alright, that's what I thought, just making sure.
Yep. And Fumble also got it if she ever comes back.
So technically, it would be on my person.
Yes. So 2 sets of that.
What's the oil of slip?
And what was the count again?
It's in chat.
Oh,
It's the oil of slipperiness.
0.4, is that 4 silver?
Y- yes.
Oh, interesting. That gives you the effective freedom of movement for 8 hours.
Could also be poured on the ground for grease.
Yeah.
All right, now that I've got that on my character sheet, no one forget to loot my cord.
Oil is arguably better than the ring.
But the ring lasts as long as you wear it.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm just saying. But the oil will actually get you out of something that has you grappled, a monster or whatever.
It's just because you're so slippery that they just can't hold on to you, which I think is
Being
kind of funny.
underwater imposes no penalties on the target's movements or attacks. That's kind of nice too. If you use that in combination with the potion of water breathing, pretty much be as good as any sea elf, except for maybe swim speed. Although I suppose you could say underwater counts as difficult terrain.
Not if you have a swim speed.
No, but I mean if you don't. So if you
Yeah.
use the potion of water breathing and then that oil, you'd be good.
He's dropping more weird clues about him being an aquatic race.
I am not an aquatic race.
Over the course of the long rest, since elves, what have you, can I try and touch the mind of my patron and see if she's willing to share any information about whatever this rift is at the bottom
Sure.
of the sea?
Alright. So you get yourself into a dream state, and instantly you feel like you're in the deep underwater, along with the tentacles of the kraken. A rather large kraken. And an eye, the size bigger than you are, opens and fixes on you.
Hello. I don't think I've ever come to you before. You'll always come to me.
You seek counsel. What is
Yeah.
it that you need, little one?
My friends and I are about to go down into a place that's been warded for a really long time nearby, and it's filled with, I think, awful zombies and possibly ancient evil. I was wondering if you knew anything about it. You could give us a couple of pointers to help us not die.
Yes, there is a most foul area nearby. A tiny little hole, a rift. to a section of the abyss, but no demon can get through it, but the influence of one of the layers ekes through. You're going to need to find a way to seal it if you wish to stop its influence.
Do you have any pointers on that, or just seal it up?
What do you know of sealing stones?
Nothing.
Can any of you seal things together underwater?
I've got mending. I'm not sure if that would be super helpful right
No.
now.
If you had your druid friend, you would be able to do it. But he left, didn't he?
Yeah. They'll all leave eventually.
I won't, unless you try to leave, unless you were leaving me, which is not advisable, little one.
Well, I guess that's probably all I need to know for now.
There might be solutions, but I do not think you have anything on hand between all of those of you on that ship that can close that rift. You will need to find help before you can do that.
Is there any help nearby?
The eye closes for a moment as the sea mother seems to think. None within my influence, but I imagine if you continue on your journey, you will find somebody to help with this matter.
All right. Well, thank you. Appreciate
And
the help.
remember, while some undead will always stay to protect their nests, it is unwise to attack them while they're all there. And then you wake up.
Lobu bursts out of his cabin, still kind of wearing his night clothes, and he's like, "We can't fight him right now. I don't think it's a really good idea."
Wait, what?
Okay, so first, two things. She told me two things. First thing, there's a rift down there that leads to another plane of existence, and that's no good, obviously. But we need to shut it. But I don't know that any of us can shut rifts right now. And then thing number two, she said that if we go down during the day, well, basically, she said if we go down during the day, all of the zombies will be down there, and it's going to be a real bad time for us.
Okay. So I'm confused. We're not supposed to go? We're not supposed to do this, or we do, but just at night.
I think at night is the thing, but also there's a rift to another plane, and we have to properly seal that shut, or it's a suicide mission.
And I mean, not all other planes are bad. I just had a brief vacation in the astral. That was okay.
I'd like to point out some of the members of this group are much better at opening rifts than they are at closing them.
No argument here.
If we had Dovin, I think maybe Dovin could have taken care of it. But,
Definitely a possibility. I can
What's all
dispel
the
magic, but that's all. Aside from the occasional curse.
what's all the hullabaloo about? What's going on? Uh, did I hear something about us having to go in the day and at night? I mean,
Yeah, daytime's no good because all the zombies are going to be down there already, just kind of waiting to eat us.
how do you know all of this?
Okay, so I've made a pact with an ancient evil that lives deep below the waves, and she has been kind enough to inform me about a couple of things regarding, I figured that, ancient evil below the waves and another ancient evil below the waves, probably they'd have beef because, territories and whatnot. So I thought I'd reach out and, yeah, turns out, rift.
So you get your power from an ancient evil.
Maybe.
Okay. To each their own, I guess. And he like scribbles something down in his journal and then walks back into the.
That guy's kind of a lot. Logan will go up to Boland's door and just start knocking repeatedly.
Mm. What's up?
Ancient evil, rift at the bottom of the sea, bad stuff, zombies all down there in the middle of the day. If we're gonna go, we should go at night, probably.
Okay. So, are we going now?
It is currently daytime. The sun has risen. There are birds singing in the sky.
I mean,
I think we also need to find someone to close this rift. I don't know.
if that's the case, should we go back to Saltmarsh and maybe drop our new friends off and speak to Ada and maybe she knows someone? Because I don't know about you all, but I can't do that.
What? Close rifts?
Well,
Depends on how big the rift is.
The dwarf guy comes wandering up there. He looks a lot like he's a lot better than he was underneath there, and he stretches. Morning, Noel.
Oh, it's morning. Whoops. Never mind. Zephyrus is out here.
What are we talking about? What are you folks up today?
Talking about blocking rifts. You gonna go to blocking rifts to other planes?
Nah, don't know nothing about that. Sorry. I just wanted to know where we're going.
I told Vaughn she could probably block it. Depends on how big it is.
Leave her hands out of this.
It wasn't her hand I was talking about.
Oh.
anyway, I suggested we head to Saltmarsh to drop you all off.
Yeah, I really don't want to go back to Saltmarsh. Kinda want to
Why?
fire watch to get away from there. He kind of like rubs the back of his head, looks at all of you, and looks around the ship. This isn't a pirate vessel, is it? And I apologize for the
No.
shifting accents. I'm really bad at them.
Define pirate.
We are absolutely not a pirate vessel.
Ah, good. See,
Pirate-ish.
I owe some people a lot of money, and they have been seen around Saltmarsh. And they said if I couldn't pay them back, which I can't, I'm broke, that they'd sell me off to the pirates. I really don't want to end up with the pirates.
Who do you owe money to?
Yeah, it's just a guy. Unless you know he's dead. I don't know a good idea to go back. At least not for me. I'd rather not. I don't know about my friends there, but Barrett, he spent some time on the water. He said he might want to stay on the water for a while. And Janor, well, I don't know. Maybe she'll want to go back to Firewatch someday, but for now, she seems fine with staying here. So it's just me. Just me that wants to, not go anywhere in Soulmarsh.
We did lose one crew member, Captain, and then also Thalia Steadyhand kind of wandered off one day, and I think we forgot to get him back on the boat. So like, we are down a couple.
Right. I really want to know who you owe money, though.
Well,
Who you owe.
it's this half-elf bloke named Davios Rail. Ever heard of him?
Have I ever heard of him?
Roll a history check.
I'd actually like to do the same. My status connection to the server has been interrupted. Cool.
Oh, mine too. For what it's worth, I rolled a 3.
I rolled the 22, but I will re-roll it if it didn't come through.
Yeah, looks like everyone got booted.
Yeah, I just
And me.
that happened to me just now too.
Alright, so, what you know of this Davius chap? First question, Zephyrus. Do you take contracts out on anyone? Are you a bounty hunter by any chance? Because your character's new to the party.
He tries to take them, but he takes them anonymously.
Alright. So, is it possible you may have taken one to bring back a dwarf who owes lots of money to somebody?
He doesn't take. He's very good aligned in the
Okay,
sense that
so
Yeah.
he wouldn't want to if this guy, especially if the person you take it from was potentially associated with pirates. Got it. Okay, just want to double check. So yeah, you know of him. He's not a terrible person. He's a merchant in a settlement that's somewhat north of Saltmarsh, but he probably does business down there. He's a half elf. Kind of rich and considered kind of noble. It's impossible to tell exactly why there's Morley here has run up a debt with him, but it is very possible that he might get sold into slavery, into pirate slavery, because this guy, well, not necessarily evil, more of like a neutral sort, has been known not, to do some dealings with pirates, probably to keep his, shipments safe. It's kind of like, I'm going to pay the mobsters protection money sort of racket. Because it's like I just look at this as price of doing business. I'm going to pay them. They won't take my stuff. I get to ship and get to keep my prices doing this and do business, sort of thing. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it sounds like this Morley guy's probably going to be telling you the truth, since that's what you know about that guy, about the Davius Ral character. There you go.
Yep.
All right, everybody back into Roll20.
All right. I've heard about this guy that he's talking about.
Is he cool?
He's not the worst. I mean, he makes dealings with pirates, but only because protection. You know, kind of like paying the mafia.
Wait, okay. So you owe money to a man who pays the mafia.
Well, pirate.
Pays the sea princes. Yeah. I have a debt to him. Yeah.
How much?
Uh, he thinks for a moment and cringes. Well, it's 8,000 gold.
Buddy.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to the captain, but I think you should be. There's no chance you're clearing that. So
Yeah, that's really unfortunate.
how did you get that debt?
Well, he kind of like mumbles with his hands for a minute. There's kind of a shipping thing, you see. Well, I used to be kind of a ship's captain myself once upon a time. A long time ago, I agreed to ferry a whole bunch of his cargo, and yeah, it kind of got wrecked. See, something big hit my ship. Most of my ship and crew went down. I managed to escape on the boat, and we couldn't find it. So he said I owed him the 8,000.
Ah,
What's the name of the boat?
Yeah.
Uh, well, he kind of rattles something off. 1 second.
I'm only asking because we recently went to a boat where we reclaimed cargo.
Oh, well, see, this was a while ago. Unless you, and it was in the middle of the ocean. Well, not ocean. It was in the middle of the
Like open water.
Sorry, it was in the middle of the Gulf. You know. And hold on 1 second. I need to whisper something to somebody.
Oh no.
Sorry, I hate when I can't find the information I'm looking for. When I was like, wait a second, I thought I had this somewhere. My brain tends to log information in two different locations. It's like it'll log vital statistics about something and the general idea of it, and then it might log the name somewhere else completely. The name does not stick in the tags in my head.
I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a
I
weird
remember the weirdest
disconnect.
things.
So he just kind of mumbles something. Just, but, I mean, it's nearly not my fault. I could have died that day.
You mean like your crew that did die?
It's not like I let them die. They just kind of died. It was, well, it was the, you kind of like sweats for a minute. It was a while ago, and it was the sea's bounty.
Oh, Sea's Bounty? Sea's Bounty?
Yeah.
I might have an idea about where that is.
What? You do?
You
It's
do?
a seal thing.
Not, well, it's a me sort of thing. Look, don't worry about it too much. I think I could draw, like, roughly on the map. I think.
If maybe we could retrieve some of that cargo. Maybe Davios won't want to sell me to pirates.
I mean, we could keep you safe on the ship. We could just like keep you here, and you'd never get off the ship again, and then you live here, and then that's fine, and you can sail for us, and you never have to leave the ship.
Yeah, I guess I could do that.
Um, I'm going to object. Very strongly object. Well, this evil rift thing we're talking about, we can't solve this issue anyway, right?
That's what the big squiggly says.
Great. And
Big
how
squid
far off
lady.
on the map? Too many questions. Too many questions. About how far off of a ride would it be?
The rift or his ship?
Ship.
The ship, Libu, you'd remember, is on the very southwestern edge of the Gulf. You guys are kind of up in the middle section of the Gulf at the moment. Middle and to the east in the Gulf, along the near the shore.
So we're kind of back in pirate territory a little bit again.
Well, there's pirates. There's basically the sea princes are all throughout the Gulf. So it's like, they have a potential of showing up anywhere else in the Gulf, but the Keeland has been trying to smash them down. The main forces of Keeland are in the northern part of the Gulf, where the Madronis River. I have an actual name for that river, the one that leads up to Madronis. That particular river goes up there. Oh yeah, it's in this book. The Midris River. Most of the defensive forces against piracy is actually concentrated at the lip of the end point of the Midris River that goes into the Azure Gulf. Saltmarsh is kind of in the middle of the Azure Gulf. The bottom part of the Azure Gulf, which is kind of near that island with the smiley face on it. Somewhere past there, somewhere to the southwest of there, is where the ship crashed.
Oh, got it. So I assumed it was like right around the Smiley Face Island,
Yeah, Mistvale.
further past Mistvale.
Yeah, it's further southwest of Mistvale.
So looks like a couple of days at least. Probably too far. Probably we don't want to go anywhere over there. No need to. Not a problem. Let's go to the capital. Capital sounds fun.
It was fun.
Still not sure why we're not exploring this rift. I mean, we might not be able to close it, but so what?
With Topaz on this one.
What do you mean exploiting?
Exploring.
Oh, exploring. My apologies.
I mean, I guess we don't have to actually do anything. There's no harm in just looking at it.
Right.
Especially if we go at night.
Exactly.
No harm, no foul.
Yeah.
In and out. Little recon.
5-minute adventure.
Morley's looking skeptically at Cogsworth when you and Dread for that matter when you guys say scouting mission.
How many capsules are in that thing?
6.
Oh.
Basically, it's enough for one trip down. At least for anyone who's not a sea elf.
What about a Warforged?
There is a chance you might get damaged with pressure, but it's something that, maybe if you do it once, you'll be okay. We'll see how much potential constitution damage you take. If you keep doing it, it might continue to damage you.
Okay. So like temporary resistance, but who knows how the hell long that'll last. If I have to go down, I better make it quick.
Yeah. and you would not be good for scouting if it was just a scouting mission. You'd be there for let us kick ass as best as possible type of mission,
Yeah.
and then you'd spend the rest of the time attempting probably to walk towards shore.
Yeah. Like, how long can I maintain concentration on this blessed spell and live?
Something like that. So what you guys wish to do is up to you.
We could go back to town or something and find someone that can close the rift. But if we don't want to care about the rift, we can still go down there for treasure and stuff.
I feel like it's a kind of thing where, by all means, if we think that we should go, we should go. But we should do some of our prior engagements first, possibly. In case there's a war still on the horizon, maybe giving them warning to prepare might make things easier should things go wrong in the long run.
Also, if we get sucked into that rift, things will pretty bad. So, just want to make the point of taking care of things up here is definitely a good idea before we possibly go to another plane of existence by accident.
Captain's call.
In which case, are you all suggesting we just go straight to the capital? Because we've been. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. If you're going to
just
continue
saying-
the point, by all means.
Yeah, we've been sitting on this letter for some time, and there's still that war happening, as you said.
Have we been
it
sitting
would
on this
make
letter
sense.
for some time? I thought we just got it like
A few
yesterday.
days. No, it's been a few days, yeah.
It's been
Cause-
about a day. It's the same day that yesterday was the same day that you guys fought the two-headed shark.
Yeah, yesterday.
It's just been a
Wild.
few. It's just been a few sessions. Is the thing.
It was a loaded day.
Yes.
In
Wow.
half work years, it's been like 7 days.
I mean, it just makes sense if we get this down. It'll take 4 days to get there. It gives them time to get down here. Or, I know Lobu was kind of questioning it, but we could give him the letter to give to Claire. He's no longer at chat.
Hello? Hello?
Hmm. We have to wait for Libby to come back, I guess. My guess is he switched on something, or temporarily disconnected.
As far as the capital,
There he is.
This was meant to be a very short trip without any stops, and here we are.
Yeah, it was meant to be take about 4 days to get there from Saltmarsh.
okay.
Because it was it's going up the wide Midras River towards the capital of Madronis.
We could also, realistically, if we don't want to deliver this letter, we could just go to Ada and tell her to find another courier. It's not like she paid us.
Correct. She just entrusted it to you because she trusted you guys. But you
Yeah, it's
did
no
also
big
mention
deal.
before Lobu couldn't hear us
Logan's
anymore.
animated it down.
Yeah. Yeah, that there was the other solution that Lobu might want to hear. Once, yeah, which was to, I believe one of you mentioned, get Lobu to give the letter to Claire and ask Claire to do something with it.
Yeah, but he was also kind of iffy about that, asking Claire for favors.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think part of the, I don't know, since he can't talk right now, I guess,
Yeah.
it was possibly because, Topaz had a problem with Claire. That's what I was assuming why Lubu wasn't just asking her around. I think it had a lot to do with Topaz. Do you guys want to take a 5 minute break? Wait for Lubu's internet to come back?
Sure.
Alright, 5 minute break, guys.
People can still hear me, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Just making sure. Just concerned that the line dropped for whatever reason. Hello?
Oh,
Oh,
You're here.
Hello.
Where are the others?
Guessing they're coming.
Here,
Yay.
Yellow.
Did everybody go down?
We were taking
No.
a break.
We missed you.
Yep. Misty lots. Yep, lots.
So what are all the peeps up to?
Just waiting for people to come back.
Anyone playing any good games recently?
Mm,
The only video games I get to play anymore are the mobile version of Animal Crossing, which I play as a way to keep me from going back to smoking.
What was that?
I don't know how much you missed. I feel like I was talking
The very,
for a
very
while.
last bit. Did you say to keep you from getting back to smoking?
Yeah.
Heard a lot about that game. What's the deal with it? What do you do in it?
Oh, it's stupid and terrible, but also like if you feel unappreciated in your life, if you're doing a lot of hard work and like no one's really benefiting from it, it's a great game because a bunch of little animals instantly become your friends and stand around you and clap whenever you like pick up a piece of fruit or garbage from the floor. That's like basically the whole game, and it's great.
Basically,
Yeah,
you
the-
get you go into increasingly higher and higher debt, expanding your home on a deserted island, working for a man that pays you nothing. However, his loans have no interest. You pay them whenever you can, and when you take out the loan, he gives you the thing pretty much instantly.
I think MB's talking
Surprisingly-
about the one on the phone.
Yeah.
Well, I was also just describing
Oh yeah.
Animal Crossing almost as a whole, but also
yeah,
the latest
I just
one.
picked that up today. I was playing it a little before a game.
Like if you get past how horrible it is, it's actually surprisingly wholesome.
I've seen the pictures. It looks cute.
People find a way to make it look bad. PETA.
Why would they? Can you skin them?
No, but it's PETA
Why would PETA care?
because it's PETA.
No,
That's it.
if I could go and skin my animal friend, then they might have a reason to be upset.
You can fish and capture bugs.
See,
Fishing
nobody
is
thinks about the
food.
fish's welfare.
I think they're getting along swimmingly, thank you very much.
Fish and chickens, they get no respect. You never see pictures of cows on the side of like steak advertisements, but you see fish and chicken all the time. They don't even get the privilege of.
Yeah, the irony is you don't see like you're saying you don't see cows on the side of steak advertisements, but you know what you do see? Cows on the side of chicken advertisements.
Yeah. Telling you to eat more chicken.
Uh-huh.
That little Chick-fil-A ad campaign. That was weird.
Yeah. The ad campaign is great.
Hmm.
I kind of hate the the management, though. For the burning passion.
You know, love it or hate it, I can't eat anything that's takeout because of my food allergies. So I stopped paying attention to all advertisements for fast
For
food
food
for
that
the
you can't
longest
eat.
time. Yeah, because most of the parts I can't eat it.
Makes sense. No point in paying attention to something to that, like, that you literally cannot eat.
Mm-hmm.
How's everybody doing, though? All things considered. Things being the way that.
Are you
Alive
alright?
at the moment.
I
Taking care of themselves and whatnot.
As best as possible.
Ah, son of a bitch. His internet died.
Oh man.
Spectrum. Sometimes I wonder if we can trust Lobo with the most innocuous magical items, because he would find a way.
Are you sure you want to be saying that to Lobu and not the person who used a bag of holding bomb?
I'm really concerned about having a second bag of holding.
It's fine. This is fine. Guys, I said it's fine.
Possessed by diet root beer
Mingle
with no
file Lobo
caffeine.
smells he grew a tentacle.
Yeah, he did.
Alright, so. Is everyone back?
Might be, but it looks like Lobu's stuck in whatever thing he's in. This is not good.
Like, internet hell.
And did he actually tell you guys he grew a tentacle?
Yeah, he lifted up his shirt and showed us.
Okay, somehow I missed him saying that, but I know I whispered it to him earlier.
He showed us the weird wiggly lump.
Oh, okay, no, it doesn't show the fact that it grew. Because that
Well,
happened to...
someone also mentioned that they can grow into tentacles, and I've just
Yeah,
been
it
referring to that as a running joke.
except that actually happened. I whispered it to him today.
Oh no.
You know,
That's why I got confused by that comment. I said, "Wait a second, I don't remember him actually saying that out loud to the rest of the party because I actually whispered him earlier that the tentacle had grown and it was wiggling obviously, considering he was walking out in just his in such limited bedtime clothing."
I mean, I was assuming it was gonna turn into a tentacle, so
Yeah. Well, I've also been making that joke for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, but I guess in all the other statements, nobody noticed that on Lubu. You know, has a tentacle that kind of down his side.
Well, I feel like that's the kind of thing where it's just so obvious you would have mentioned it to us if he walked out not wearing a shirt, considering it's a
Well,
wiggling
no, he
tentacle.
was wearing a shirt, so it's sort of there. But I whispered it to him to basically say, basically to let him mention it at some point, and then all sorts of other stuff came into view, and it kind of distracted us off that comment.
Yeah.
And
Distraction.
yep, pocket sand.
Some of us have pocket sand. He has a pocket
Oh my
tentacle.
god! We both went for the pocket sand.
Uh-huh.
Well, you yelled distraction. All that made me think of is pocket sand.
Uh-huh. I wish there was a spell that equated
And
to pocket sand.
and here I thought that was well before your time.
I think it technically happened in my time. I would have been too young to watch it, but like references were still, happening.
Yeah. Like, I'm like thinking, wasn't that like from 20 plus years ago? Maybe 25 at this point. It's a long time. I still remember the days of Beavis and Butthead, and I was like, oh, he's quitting doing Beavis and Butthead to do this King of the Hill show. All right, and then the Hill went on for 10 plus seasons.
But all joking aside, I hope everyone's doing well considering.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if the only problem with Lobu not being able to continue on tonight is that one of the possibilities that you guys were talking about dealt entirely with Lobu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
Mm-hmm. So does anybody have anything, or do we call it early because of the situation?
I'll leave it down to the group.
I'll go through the rift and leave him on the boat. He won't know where we went.
He proceeds to go on a whirlwind adventure without us.
I mean, I don't know how the Lobo thing will resolve. Will Carly just become a postman for us? Like,
Who?
Or I think, at least for me, we're kind of deciding what we're gonna do next, like where we're going next. Which
Yeah.
it's like, are we going to the capital? Are we going to Saltmarsh? Or are we going to the Rift? And I kind of feel it's a bigger decision to make because, again, I don't really give too much of a fuck about Carly, in character,
Mm-hmm.
but
I mean, I feel like the rift should be left for last for reasons my character stated in character. My character is that if we end up getting stuck inside of the rift for whatever reason, that we
The world
won't-
might go
we
on
won't-
without us.
Sorry, what was that?
The world might go on without us.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, these things that are pressing, like the letter to the capital and things, we might not be able to do if we get stuck inside of a rift.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm down for like out of character. I'm down for like a trip to the capital because we haven't really been land based in a long time. So I don't think ever.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that.
I personally think that makes the most sense. It's only a 4-day trip. The Evil Rift could. It seemed like that journal was old. I think it could wait 4 more days. 8 more days.
Roll
Yep.
an intelligence check.
Ooh.
Okay. No more information to give you.
Also, we could also find someone on the way that could be able to close the rift.
Maybe.
So yeah, it's up to you guys if we want to like just call it here, I guess. If you want to rely on the Carly thing.
Or anything else. Anything regarding Lobu if that's what you wish to do. But as I said, you have your... Yeah, sorry. You do have your various possibilities here, like, and things you were told by Lobu, and things you learned from that journal.
I mean, Cogsworth is very much into whatever the group decides. He's not going to make any calls for the group.
Yeah, I personally think we need to leave Carly alone for a while. Let her rest. We should deliver the message on our own.
Alright, is that what we're doing then?
Seems to be the best choice.
If there's no strong objections, I think it makes sense.
Deliver the letter first, then make decisions.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
What's your opinions, Topaz and Zephyrus?
In character, Zephyrus is chill with going to the capital. That's, I mean, I feel like this is a good plan of action. Just deliver the letter first and then figure everything out from there.
I don't care as long as I get to do it with Volin.
And as long as you get to cut a ghost or two in half.
Yes.
No complaints if you get to cut a ghost.
They did appear to have more flesh than ectoplasm. Probably some other form of undead, but still something you can cut or punch to death, or punch into further undeath.
Say, I don't think they care as long as they can be. When they're done with it, it's more dead than it was before.
double dead.
Those are wearing half of it.
Are we talking about your enemies or your cupcakes?
Yeah.
My favorite reactions are when I can get Dread to laugh.
Those are always fun.
Mm-hmm.
Who's got the new bag of holding?
I think Zephyrus does.
I think at the moment Zephyrus is holding it.
Yeah, but I don't want it.
What? Can he not be trusted?
No, it's just that it's weird, like, to Zephyrus that this guy you've only known for a day is get to hold all the important shit.
Well, to be fair, you're the one that found it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not ours. It's not holding any of our loot.
Yeah, but let's just say that, Zephyrus' stay here is temporary, so out of character I would
You're right, because
warm up.
Nox is coming back.
Remember, you don't go with that sort of out of character knowledge. You only go with...
No. That's the joke.
No,
That's
no,
the ring.
I know that, but I'm just also remember that you don't think about the fact that your character's planning on being there temporary. Think about what your character would actually want, and what your character would do.
Yeah, the in-character reason is that he feels like this item should be for the group because you guys just recently lost a bag of holding, and he doesn't have any interest in the materials anyway. So that's why I didn't take anything really.
Okay.
So he would have passed it off immediately.
He would have passed all this stuff off. He didn't want it.
I mean, like I said, Cogsworth is already carrying things, but he's willing to be the pack mule if necessary.
Anything else we wish to go over tonight?
I don't think so.
I mean, is it a smooth trip there? Is it something that we want to go through without Lobu here? And then do a recap where Lobu can retroactively do things, or are we wanting to pause? I'm up for either.
I don't like retroactive unless
know.
it's like
I know,
a complete accident where the only way for something to have worked is if we had the retroactive in there.
Yeah.
Other stuff, I just figure out workarounds for things I had meant to do and suddenly can't do because I messed up and forgot to mention something somewhere. The only times I ever do the retroactive is if something had to have been done before this could even take place that I can't think of any way of making it so that it,
Without a retcon.
Yeah, without the retcon. And that's, like, again, I try not to do that. I try to only go with, if so,
And
that.
you're talking like massive derails were literally the only way for the story to continue without and everything ended happily ever after.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah,
Is what the
it's
retcon.
like, sometimes, like, when I mistakenly read a description of something, that, like, that places one thing somewhere, or, change the composition of something, it's like, I've run with it because I already made the mistake, and now I have to own it, because that's going to be my version now. So I have to make things up on the fly to get to get from A to B because of that. I don't like to go and retcon, like, oh, I made a mistake when I said this 2 minutes ago. Like, no, I've already established a new canon for this. Therefore, I must go with what I've already established, even if I look at something else and go, oh, it was supposed to be this.
Mhm.
Nope, not that anymore. So
If we decided to go to the capital, then Zephyrus would just go into his cabin, and say to Topaz, "All right, well, I'm gonna go practice my medium magics," and then he's gonna go into the.
Good, you do that.
you just gotta sneak away.
Try not to pull us into another rift.
And with that, we'll pick up again next week. Hopefully, everyone will be able to attend.